Hi everyone, welcome to another week of our Pastor's Chat. We're a little bit different today because I'm joined by one of our elders, Bob Moreau. Tim Hogan is away with his wife for their anniversary, so next time you see them, be sure to wish them a happy belated anniversary. But Bob is here today to talk about our missions program at the church and how our missionaries are doing and how they're making it through this time of quarantine that has been worldwide in some degree, and some of the things that our church has done in order to help in those areas. But first, Bob, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? You don't just come to us out of a vacuum descending from missionary land. You have a life, you have a family, you have a career. Give the people a little background for yourself.
Yes, we've been attending Calvary about 10 years. I've been an elder about a year and a half. And I've only been on the missions committee since February, so it's a new assignment for me, and I'm enjoying it. Actually, it worked out well. I went on the missions trip to Costa Rica in January and had a great time and got to see what was going on in Costa Rica and ministering to many people. And when I came back, I was invited to join the missions committee.
Great. And married, some kids, some grandkids.
Yep, been married 42 years. Have three.
So a couple more than Tim and Alon.
A couple more, right. Have 3 children and 3 grandchildren who I've enjoyed. I had a long career as a research scientist with the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Part of that career involved quite a bit of traveling around the world, and actually on several of my trips, I was able to visit missionaries in different parts of the world.
Yeah.
So although January was my first short-term missions trip, I have known many missionaries and have been able to visit quite a few on the field.
Done a lot of traveling, yeah. And part of Bob's credentials are that he has a lot of letters after his name, including P, H, and D. So Bob comes to us as one who is a researcher, as you said, and very well credentialed. So let's talk about the missions activities going on at Calvary during this time. Usually, about this time of year, we're getting ready for a bunch of summer activities. You mentioned the Costa Rica trip. That's usually in January or so, but then in the summer, we tend to go to several missions trips and send a bunch of people. This year is different.
Right. This year we will not be having any summer missions trips. In previous years we've had trips to Vermont and Maine, and we were hoping to send a group to the Wycliffe Jungle Jump-Off program in North Carolina this summer, but that didn't work. So
maybe next year?
Maybe next year. Hopefully next year
Hopefully
we'll be
next
back to a full program.
Great.
And most of you probably have heard that Victory Valley Camp is also not open for campers this summer, so that's a big change. And so we're adapting.
Adapting, and part of that adapting is that the missions committee has been on top of needs that some of our missionaries have been sending back to us and have been responding to that both by letting us know so we can pray and so we can give, but also by dipping into the reserve funds that have been built up for missions in order to help specific needs. Can you talk about that a little bit? Some of the organizations, some of the places, some of the people that are being helped?
Sure. Of the 9 missionaries that we support, 3 of them have been very much involved in responding to the COVID-19 crisis. And probably the most desperate one has been in India. And we've been able to help them out, and they've been able to purchase food and distribute it to hundreds of families who really have no food and no income. And that's, in this country, we talk about a huge unemployment problem now, but we do have resources for people that are unemployed. In India, there's very little resources, so they're very dependent on the church and other organizations to help feed the people during this difficult time.
So our contact there, Suresh, he's been here to visit us a couple of times, and we've supported them with Dare to Care offerings for a couple of years now. And I can't ever remember how to pronounce his last name, I'm sorry, but he is excellent at communicating by way of email updates and saying, here's what's going on and here are the people that need our help and that they have been reaching into and feeding, as you say, hundreds of people, really hundreds of families that they've been able to support. And so we've sent them extra funds and made that presentation to our people as well. And I would think that if they let you know, if they let us know, we can get your information to Suresh so he can put you on his email list as well. Okay.
Yes, if you're interested in information about that missions group or any of the others that we support, please call the church office and they'll give you my email or phone number, and I'd be happy to talk with you.
Excellent, excellent. So another group that has been helping those in need, you mentioned Costa Rica earlier, that you were in Costa Rica just earlier this year with a team from our church, and we've been sending teams there, I'm going to say it's been quite a number of years. And so we've had a lot of people from our church go there, but they're also seeing pretty great needs as well. Can you speak to that some?
Sure. The mission that we support in Costa Rica is in the suburbs of San Jose, and they minister to poor Costa Ricans, and there's a large Nicaraguan immigrant population there. That there's actually a shanty town nearby that we visited, and that a lot of the children and a lot of the elderly people that are ministered to live in that shanty town. And with COVID-19, jobs have been scarce, and there's been a need for food distribution there and for extra medical needs at the SEDCAS clinic too, which is a big part of what we support there.
And that's our missionary Lillian Solt, who is there, and she really connects us with all of those people that are in need. Another organization that we help and we have close contact with the heads of that organization is, we're moving across the world now, all the way to Africa, in Kenya, Philip and Karen Osenya with Heart to Care. And from what I understand, they haven't been affected as much by COVID-19 as they have by some other natural disasters. What's been going on with them? What help have they needed?
Right. It's my understanding that this is the rainy season in Kenya, and every year they have some flooding, and it closes roads. This year it was exceptionally bad flooding. Houses were destroyed. There was food distribution was cut off, and the Osenyas have been very much involved with helping people to get food and helping people to rebuild houses. Mm-hmm.
And so Philip and Karen are Kenyans themselves, and they've been here twice to Coopersburg. We are the church in America that is their connection. And so we've supported them quite a bit, and we're still continuing to work on supporting them through their organization. They care for widows and orphans in particular. Those are the main needs, but then they have connection with churches and schools as well. So they do a lot of great work of spreading the gospel where it is needed. And right now what they're seeing is a great need to help with food and other needs that people have. So now coming back over to this hemisphere, I'm thinking of Jeff and Christina Spiel, and they are based in Florida in order to help in Haiti. How are they doing? What are the needs in Haiti right now, and how have they been able to help out?
In Haiti, there's also a problem with, there's a smaller number of cases of COVID than we have here, but the unemployment and the poverty in Haiti is always an issue, and it's worsened during the pandemic. So their organization has been involved in trying to get food to some of the poor people in Haiti. Their missions organization, RMI, a major activity that they do is to send church groups to Haiti,
right,
to minister to people in the villages and in the churches.
Which probably isn't going on right now. Yeah.
And now there's no transportation into Haiti, so they're adapting and trying to help in other ways. There are churches in Haiti that they do support and do work with closely, and they're doing that right now. But a major part of that mission organizations is planning the trips, especially during the summer, that have to be postponed.
And you told me earlier that Jeff had just been to Haiti before all of the
Yes.
travel bans went into effect, so he had just gotten back. So he's been there fairly recently. Good. Talking about us jumping around side to side of the world makes me think of Jerry and Carolyn Moyer, who their ministry spans different parts of the world. They spend about half of their time in Australia, half of their time in France. How has all of this world situation affected them?
I was able to speak with them recently, and they happened to be in Australia when the pandemic and the lockdown occurred. So they've remained in Australia. They're still very much involved in the ministry in the Paris area of France and in recruiting new missionaries in Australia.
Yeah.
So they've actually adapted quite well to using technology like our church does and like many other organizations have done.
Yeah,
And
they already had to use technology
Right.
because they were 12 time zones away
Right.
from their team. And so just try and imagine your sleep schedule at that point, trying to work in two different parts of the world.
But what they've shared, and all of our missionaries haven't been able to travel, and most of them plan traveling during the summer, often to come back to the States to visit supporting churches, to visit families. Some of them missed high school and college graduations and
Yeah.
weddings. So that's been very disruptive to all of our missionaries, not only the foreign missionaries, but those
Yeah.
that are in the United States.
Yeah, in the broader Bible Fellowship Church, I do get to serve on the board of missions for the BFC, and we have had one missionary in particular who has experienced COVID-19 herself, and then she had actually been helping friends who had been sick and dropping off food to them, but in the process, somewhere along the line, she got sick and they helped her. And these are non-believers, and her relationship with them has really deepened as a result of that. But other missionaries that haven't been able to come home for funerals of close family members in the denomination, and so there's been a lot that's been on people's plates, that life is unsettled and they haven't been able to do the things that we would expect.
I did hear one story from Jeff Spiel about a Haitian pastor who he works with, who came to the United States for his son's wedding.
Okay.
He and his wife came, I think it was in March, for his son's wedding.
Okay.
And I believe they're still here.
Oh, wow.
Because they haven't been able to return to Haiti.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Well, we also have friends in Kazakhstan,
Right.
and they fall into that category of not sure whether they're going to get to come home this summer or not as well. How are they doing?
Well, from what I hear, they're adapting.
Okay.
And they're using technology to, a lot of what they do is to lead teams and to train teams. And they're doing it in different ways than normal, but I believe that they're still being very effective at that.
Yeah, I just saw an email from them, maybe their monthly update or something, that the farming initiative that they're using in order to get the gospel out of the city and into the rural areas, that's been moving forward with masks and social distancing, but they're able to work the farm and see people as a result of that. So that's one thing that's been moving forward for them. And knowing them a little bit, they're very adaptable people, very, very capable at what they do. Who else should we be thinking about and praying for?
Well, I don't think we've mentioned Dan and Ellie in Germany.
No, we haven't.
And they're fairly new missionaries. I believe they went to the field about a year ago. And they have a unique ministry in the Cologne area of Germany where they minister to Syrian immigrants. And the last I heard, they've been using Zoom a lot, and Ellie's actually been giving art lessons.
Oh, wow.
Using Zoom, which is part of her ministry. So they're, that's how they've been adapting. I'm pretty sure they had plans to visit to return this summer also that are being postponed.
I wondered about that because I had reached out to them. I had heard from you and from someone else that they were going to be back this summer, and thought, oh, great, we'll have them here for an update. And no plans right now. Don't know what it is.
Actually, there were people in our congregation that were planning to visit them this summer.
Oh, okay.
Too, and that had to be postponed.
Wow. Yeah, adaptability is the name of the game right now.
Mm-hmm.
Am I missing anybody else?
Let me see. Larry and Michelle serve as they're nearby in Emmaus, but they serve as mentors to team missionaries.
Mm-hmm.
They were missionaries in the Czech Republic for many years, and now they're serving a time in the U.S., but they're still mentoring new missionaries with team.
Yeah.
Chris and Becky are part of the Bible Fellowship Church, and they are involved in all of our missions teams. They were with us in Costa Rica.
All the short-term teams.
Right,
Yep,
all the short term. So they're always involved. Previously, they've always been involved in our summer missions projects.
I always thought we should make them honorary members at Calvary because they'll take half the summer, it seems like, with our missions teams. Yeah.
Right, so their mission has changed, and they're adapting and waiting for things to change and some resumptions of normalcy, and like all of us in the future.
Right. Good.
So I think we've mentioned everybody.
Excellent. Just a lot of things going on. We ask you to continue to be praying for our missionaries, or begin to be praying for our missionaries, and be remembering them, especially during this time, that there would be flexibility, that there would be clarity as to what comes next, that they would be at peace even while there is uncertainty, that they would be able to get back to see people and get the encouragement and the feedback of being together with people. Even as I think of that, and we're about to close our time, each week we try and point to what's coming this Sunday as far as what we're looking at in a sermon. And this Sunday is our second week talking about rebuilding. And this week it's rebuilding worship. We're in Ezra chapter 3. And in Ezra chapter 3, the people of Israel begin to worship God in Jerusalem. They all gather for the feast that is prescribed by the law. And they don't have the temple yet, but they set up the altar. They begin offering the sacrifices, or re-offering the sacrifices. And it just seems really relevant to where we are right now as we think, when will we get to come back together? Will it be soon? It looks like the green phase should be coming soon, we think, we hope. And as we think about what it means to say, hey, we gather together in order to worship the Lord, in order to honor Him, and in order to focus our lives completely around following Him. So please join us this Sunday for our, I believe, 15th online-only weekend of services, and hopefully that will be coming to an end very soon. So we look forward to that on Sunday. For now, thanks for being with us today. Appreciate it. We'll chat again soon. Bye.
Bye.